Shalom, family. We are again in the Hallelujah scriptures, and we reached Yehezqel or Ezekiel chapter 40. We last read chapter 40, I think. Yes, we read through chapter 40, so we're entering chapter 41. We're going to begin with a word of prayer, and then we're going to go ahead and get right into the reading. Um, Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day, your Shabbat. Thank you for the rest you've allowed me to have, Father. Um, it is so needed, Abba. It's so needed. And just thank you for making this day and commanding that we shut everything down and just spend time with you and just renew. Um, and I appreciate you, Father, for knowing what we needed. Thank you, Father, for the breath that runs through my veins. Thank you for my heart, Father, that the desire you place in my heart to read your word and come to know you more. Father, help me with my understanding. Help me with the concepts that I read of how to put them into action, Father. Give me divine wisdom and divine understanding, divine knowledge, Father, of what it is that I read, Father. Give me a double portion of your Ruach, Father, and a double portion of discernment to help me understand exactly what I read, Father, and the questions that I have, Father. Help me to find answers in the reading of your word. Father, forgive me my sins. Father, forgive me of my thoughts, my deeds, and actions that don't align with the law, statutes, and commandments. And Father, if I've stepped out of your grace and your mercy in any way, Father, please forgive me. Please forgive me, Father. Please forgive me. Please separate me from my sins, Father. Remove them as far from me as east is from west, Father. And help me close doors that the kingdom of darkness has access to me, Father. I deny, denounce, rescind any way in which I have come into agreement with anything from the kingdom of darkness, with anything that is not you, Father. I denounce it. I deny it, Father. I rescind it. Father, and I fully, totally submit myself to you, Father, to the Most High, to the one true creator of heaven and earth. I submit myself, mind, body, soul, spirit, mind, thought, and deed to you, Most High, to you, creator of heaven and earth, to you, who sits on the throne. Father, and I ask you to just shield me, to protect my mind, my soul, my spirit, my dreams, my thoughts, Father. Put a border of protection around me, Father. Please, Abba. I just thank you, Father. Thank you for everything that's going on in this world right now. Even though things that are heavy and that are burdensome, Father. There are things that must come to pass, things that we must go through to come to the other side where you have the promises awaiting us. Father, just strengthen us as your people. Keep us, shield us, guard us, guide us, because this world is ever more wicked. And there are just so many things going on, Father, that your children we won't survive if we don't have you. And Father, I'm asking you to just be with us. Father, help my prayers. Help me learn to pray more effectively. Give my prayers power. Father, teach me how to pray. Father, make me a vessel of to be contended with, Father, through my prayers. Father, help me, gird me in your strength, Father, in your power. And just teach me, Father. I'm an open vessel, Father, who's waiting for you to just pour yourself into me. Just teach me. Father, this channel, please bless it, enrich it. Give me the strength to do the things that I need to do, to complete the task I feel you've laid before me. Just help me, Father. Groom me, make me. Make me a daughter of Zion, Father, so that on this assignment that I'm in presently, Father, that I walk before these people as your daughter, and that people, when they see me, they ask who it is that I serve, who you are. And let your glory and your esteem be seen through me, Father. Let me be an example to people who see me, Father, so that they inquire of you, Father, and I can, and through me, Father, I give glory and esteem to you. These and all other things I ask and pray in your name, Father. And the last thing I ask, Father, is that you lead me into all truth, Father. Lead me to the truth, Father. And please don't let me be deceived by the enemy. Please don't let me be deceived by the enemy. Give me discernment and the ability to decipher what is true and what is not. And Father, just stand with me. Just be with me. Senior Mala came, Father, to stand guard around this premises, around these doors, these walls, these walls to protect me. Have them stand guard around my vessel, Father, to protect my vessel. Father, again, things are so wicked right now, and the wickedness is heightened, Father, and I'm asking you, Father, just to hear my prayers and to send your protection and to protect me, Father. Lead me and guide me and strengthen me. Just keep me, Father. Keep me under your wing. These are all things I ask and pray, Father. And I believe it so. So be it, and may it be so. All right, again, we've reached Yehezqel or Ezekiel. We're beginning at chapter 41. Okay, and he brought me into the HalleluYah, and he measured the doorpost, 6 amma wide on one side and 6 amma wide on the other side, the width of the tent. And the entrance was 10 amma wide, and the side walls of the entrance were 5 amma on this side and 5 amma on the other side. And he measured its length, 40 amma and 20 amma wide. And he went inside and measured the doorpost, 2 amma, and the entrance 6 amma high, and the width of the entrance 7 amma. And he measured the length 20 amma and the width 20 amma in the front of the HalleluYah. And he said to me, this is the most Kadosh place. And he measured the wall of the house 6 amma, and the width of each side room all around the house was 4 amma on every side. And the side rooms were 3, one above the other, 30 rooms on each. They rested on ledges, which were for the side rooms all around, to be supported, but not fastened to the wall of the house. And there was a broadening and a winding upwards for the side rooms, for the winding around the house went up like steps, and the width of the structure increased as one went up from the lowest to the highest by way of the middle one. And I saw the height all around the house, the foundation of the side rooms, a quana's length of 6 amma, the thickness of the outer wall of the side rooms was 5 amma, and that which was left between the side rooms of the house and the rooms was a width of 20 amma all around the house on every side. And the door of the side room was toward the open space, one door toward the north and another toward the south. And the width of the place of the open space was 5 amma all around. And the building that was in front of the separate place at the side towards the west was 70 amma wide. And the wall of the building was 5 amma thick all around. Oh my goodness, excuse me. And its length 90 amma. Then he measured the house 100 amma long, and the separate place with the building and its walls were 100 amma long. And the width of the front of the house and of the separate place eastward was 100 amma. And he measured the length of the building to the front of the separate place behind it, and its galleries on the one side and on the other side, 100 amma, as well as the inner heichal and the porches of the courtyard, the doorpost and the narrowed window frames, and the galleries all around. Their three opposite the threshold were paneled with wood from the ground to the windows, and the windows were covered from the space above the door even to the inner house, as well as outside and on every wall all around, inside and outside by measure. And it was made with cherubim and palm trees, and a palm tree between cherub and cherub. A cherub had two faces, so that the face of a man was toward a palm tree on one side, and the face of a young lion toward a palm tree on the other side, made on all the house all around, from the floor to the space above the door, and on the wall of the heichal cherubim and palm trees were carved. The doorposts of the heichal were square, and the front of the Kadesh place, the appearance of one was like the appearance of the other. The altar was of wood, 3 amma high, and its length 2 amma, and its corners and its length and its sides were of wood. And he said to me, "This is the table that is before Yah." Hmm. And the heichal in the Kadesh place had 2 doors, and each of the doors had 2 panels, 2 folding panels, 2 panels for one door and 2 panels for the other door. 2 folding panels, okay. And the cherubim and palm trees were carved on the doors of the heichal, like those carved on the walls. And thick wood was on the front of the porch outside, and narrowed wooden window frames and palm trees were on one side and on the other side, on the sides of the porch and on the side rooms of the house, and thick wood. Okay, chapter 42. And he brought me out into the outer courtyard, the way toward the north. And he brought me into the room which was opposite the separate place, and which was opposite the building to the north. Along the length, which was 100 amma, was the north door. The width was 50 amma, opposite the inner courtyard of 20, and opposite the pavement of the outer courtyard, gallery against gallery in threes. And before the rooms toward the inside was a walk 10 amma wide, and a way of 1 amma, and their doors were to the north. And the upper rooms were shorter, because the galleries took away space from them more than from the lower and middle of the building. For they were in threes, and had no columns like the columns of the courtyards. So the upper was staggered from the lower, and middle from the ground up. As for the outer wall by the side of the rooms, toward the outer courtyard, facing the rooms, its length was 50 amma. For the length of the rooms toward the outer courtyard was 50 amma, and that facing the heichal was 100 amma. And below these rooms was the entrance on the east side, as one enters them from the outer courtyard. And the thickness of the wall of the courtyard toward the east, opposite the separate place and opposite the building, were rooms. And the way in front of them was like the appearance of the rooms which were toward the north, as long and as wide as the others, and all their exits and entrances were according to plan. And according to the doors of the rooms that were toward the south, there was a door in front of the way in front of the wall toward the east as one enters them. And he said to me, the north rooms and the south rooms, which are opposite, separate place, are the Kadesh rooms, where the Kohanim who approach Yah eat the most Kadesh offerings. There they place the most Kadesh items, and the grain offerings, and the sin offerings, and the guilt offering, for the place is Kadesh. When the Kohanim enter, they are not to go out of the Kadesh room into the outer courtyard, but leave their garments in which they attend there, for they are Kadesh, and shall put on other garments, and shall draw near to that which is for the people. And when he had ended measuring the inner house, he brought me out through the gate that faces east, and measured it all around. He measured the east side with the measuring quana, 500 quana by the measuring quana all around. He measured the north side, 500 quana by the measuring quana all around. He measured the south quana, 500 quana by the measuring quana. He turned round to the west side and measured 500 quana by measuring quana. On the four sides he measured it. It had a wall all around, 500 long and 500 wide, to separate the Kadesh places from the common. Chapter 43. And he led me to the gate facing east, and see, the esteem of Elohim of Yasharel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like the sound of many waters. And the earth shone from his from his esteem. And oh my goodness, I'm sorry. And it was like the appearance of the vision which I saw, like the vision which I saw when he came to destroy the city. And the visions were like the vision which I saw by the river Kabar, and I fell on my face. And the esteem of Yah came into the house by way of the gate facing east. And the Ruah took me up and brought me into the inner courtyard, and see, the esteem of Yah filled the house. And I heard someone speaking to me from the house, while a man stood beside me. And he said to me, Son of man, this is the place of my throne, and the place of the soles of my feet, when I dwell in the midst of the children of Yasharel forever. And the house of Yasharel shall no longer defile my Kadesh name, they nor their sovereigns, by their whoring, and by the corpses of their sovereigns on their high places. When they place their threshold by my threshold, and their doorposts by my doorposts, with a wall between them and me, they defiled my Kadesh name by the abominations which they have done. So I consumed them in my displeasure. Now let them put their whoring and the corpses of their sovereigns far away from me, and I shall dwell in their midst forever. Son of man, explain the house to the house of Yasharel, and when they are ashamed of their wickednesses, they shall measure the measurements. And since they shall be ashamed of all that they did, make known to them the design of the house, and its structure, and its exits, and its entrances, its entire design, and all its laws, and all its forms, and all its Torah, and write it down before their eyes, so that they observe its entire design and all its laws, and shall do them. This is the Torah of the house. Upon the mountain top, all the boundary of it all around is most Kadesh. See, this is the Torah of the house. And these are the measurements of the altar in Amma, that Amma being 1 Amma, and Topha, and the base 1 Amma high and 1 Amma wide, and the rim all around its edge of 1/0. And this is the upper part of the altar. And from the base of the ground to the lower ledge, 2 amma, and the width of the ledge, 1 amma, and from the smaller ledge to the larger ledge, 4 amma, and the width of the ledge, 1 amma. And the altar hearth is 4 amma high, and 4 horns extending upwards from the hearth. And the altar hearth is 12 amma long, 12 wide, square at its 4 corners. And the ledge is 14 long and 14 wide on its 4 sides, with a rim of half an amma around it, and its base 1 amma all around, and its steps face east. And he said to me, Son of man, thus said the Adon-Yah, these are the laws for the altar on the day when it is made, for offering burnt offerings on it, and for sprinkling blood on it. And you shall give a young bull for a sin offering to the Kohanim, the Levites, who are of the seed of Zadok, who approach unto me, declares the Adon-Yah. And you shall take some of its blood, and put it on the floor, on the 4 horns of the altar, on the 4 corners of the ledge, and on the rim around it, and shall cleanse it, and make atonement for it. And you shall take the bull of sin offering, and shall burn it in the appointed place of the house outside the Mikdash. And on the 2nd day you bring a male goat, a perfect one, for a sin offering. And they shall cleanse the altar as they cleansed it with the bull. When you have ended cleansing it, bring a young bull, a perfect one, and a ram from the flock, a perfect one. And you shall bring them before Yah, and the Kohanim shall throw salt on them, and offer them up as a burnt offering to Yah. Prepare a goat for a sin offering daily for 7 days, and prepare a young bull and a ram from the flock, perfect ones. For 7 days they shall make atonement for the altar, and cleanse it, and ordain it. And when these days are completed, it shall be on the 8th day and thereafter that the Kohanim make your burnt offerings and your peace offerings on the altar, and I shall accept you, declares the Adon-Yah. Okay, chapter 44. And he brought me back to the outer gate of the Mikdash, which faces east, and it was shut. And Yah said to me, This gate is shut, it is not opened, and no one enters it, because Yah, Elohim of Yasharel, has entered by it, and it shall be shut. The prince, as prince, he sits in it to eat bread before Yah, coming in by way of the porch of the gate, and going out the same way. And he brought me by way of the north gate to the front of the house, and I looked and saw the esteem of Yah fill the house of Yah. And I fell on my face, and Yah said to me, Son of man, lay your heart and see with your eyes, and hear with your ears all that I say to you concerning all the laws of the house of Yah and all its Torah. And you shall lay your heart to the entrance of the house with all the exits of the Mikdash, and shall say to the rebellious, to the house of Yasharel, Thus says the Adon-Yah, O house of Yasharel, enough of all these abominations of yours, that you brought in sons of a foreigner, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my Mikdash, to profane it, my house, that you brought near my food, the fat and the blood, and you broke my covenant because of all your abominations. And you did not guard the charge of that which is Kadesh to me, but you have put others to guard the charge of my Mikdash for you. Thus says the Adon-Yah, no son of a foreigner, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, comes into my mikdash, even any son of a foreigner who is among the children of Yasharel. And the Levites who went far from me, when Yasharel went astray, who strayed away from me after their idols, they shall bear their wickedness. And they were attendants in my mikdash as gatekeepers of the house and attendants of the house, slaughtering the burnt offering and the offering for the people and standing before them to attend to them, because they attended to them before their idols and became a stumbling block of wickedness to the house of Yasharel. Therefore I have lifted my hand in an oath against them, declares the Adonai, that they shall bear their wickedness and not come near me to serve as my Kohen, nor come near any of that which is Kadesh to me, nor into the most Kadesh place, and they shall bear their shame and their abominations which they have done. Yet I shall make them those who guard the duty of the house for all its work and for all that has to be done in it. But the Kohanim, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, who guarded the duty of the Mikdash when the children of Yasharel went astray from me, they shall draw near to me to serve me, and shall stand before me to bring to me the fat and the blood, declares the Adonai. They shall enter my mikdash, and they shall draw near to my table to serve me, and they shall guard my charge. And it shall be, when they enter the gates of the inner courtyard, that they put on linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them while they attend within the gates of the inner courtyard or within the house. They shall have linen turbans on their heads, and linen trousers on their bodies, and they shall not gird themselves with sweat. And when they go out to the outer courtyard, to the people, they shall take off their garments in which they have attended, and shall leave them in the Kadesh rooms, and shall put on other garments, and they shall kadosh the people in their Kadesh garments. Okay, and their heads they shall not shave, nor shall they let their hair grow long. They shall keep their hair well trimmed. And no Kohen is to drink wine when he comes into the inner court, and they do not take as wife a widow or a divorced woman, but take maidens of the seed of the house of Yasharel, or widows of Kohanim. Okay. And they are to teach my people between the Kadesh and the profane, and make them know what is unclean and clean. And they are to stand as judges in a dispute, and judge it according to my right rulings. And they are to guard my Torah and my laws and all my appointed festivals, and Kadesh, my Shabbatot. And they are not to defile themselves by coming near a dead man. Only for a father or mother, for a son or daughter, for a brother or unmarried sister, they defile themselves. And after his cleansing, they count 7 days for him. And on the day that he comes into the inner court of the Kadesh place to attend in the Kadesh place, he brings his sin offering, declares the Adonai, and it shall be to them for an inheritance. I am their inheritance, and you give them no possession in Yasharel. I am their possession. The grain offering and the sin offering and the guilt offering and the grain offering and the sin offering and the guilt offering they are to eat, and all that is dedicated in Yasharel is theirs. And the first of all, the first fruits of all, and every contribution of all your contributions belong to the Kohanim, and the first of your ground meal you give to the Kohen, so that the barakah rests on your house. The Kohanim are not to eat any bird or beast found dead or torn to pieces. Okay, chapter 45. And when you divide the land by lot into inheritance, offer a contribution to Yah, a Kadesh portion of the land in length 25,000 long, and in width 10,000, this being Kadesh throughout its border all around. Of this, a square plot, excuse me, is to be for the Kadesh place, 500 by 500, with 50 amma around it for an open space. And for this measure, you are to measure 25,000 long and 10,000 wide. And in it is to be the Mikdash, the most Kadesh place. This is to be the Kadesh portion of the land belonging to the Kohanim, the attendants of the Mikdash who draw near to serve Yah. And it shall be a place for their houses and Kadesh ground for the Mikdash. And 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width is for the Levites, the attendants of the house, for them for possession 20 rooms, and give the city as possession 5,000 wide and 25,000 long. Beside the contribution of the Kadesh portion, it belongs to all the house of Yasharel. And the prince is to have a portion on one side and the other of the Kadesh contribution and of the possession of the city, and bordering on the Kadesh contribution and the possession of the city on the west side westward and on the east side eastward, and the length alongside one of the portions from the west border to the east border of the land. This is his possession in Yasharel. And my princes shall no longer oppress my people, and they shall give the land to the house of Yasharel according to their tribes. Thus says the Adon-Yah, enough, you princes of Yasharel, put away violence and plundering, and do right ruling in righteousness, and stop your evictions of my people, declares the Adon-Yah. Have right scales and right ephah and a right bath. Let the ephah and the bath be of the same measure, so that the bath contains 1/10 of a homer, and the ephah 1/10 of a homer. Let their measure be according to the homer. And the shekel is 20 gerahs. Your mina is 20 shekels, 25 shekels, 15 shekels. This is the contribution which you present. You shall give 1/6 of an ephah from a homer of wheat, and 1/6 of the ephah from a homer of barley. And the law concerning oil, the bath of oil is 1/10 of the bath from a kor. A kor is a homer, or 10 baths, for 10 baths are a homer. And 1 lamb from a flock, from 200 from the watered pastures of Yasharel, for grain offerings and for a burnt offering, and for peace offerings, to make atonement for them, declares the Adon-Yah. All the people of the land are to give this contribution to the prince of Yasharel, and on the prince are the burnt offerings and the grain offerings and drink offerings at the festival, the new moons, the Shabbathos, and all the appointed times of the house of Yasharel. Oh my gosh. Okay. Of Yasharel. He is to prepare the sin offering and the grain offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings, to make atonement for the house of Yasharel. Thus said the Adon-Yah, in the first month, on the first of the month, you are to take a young bull, a perfect one, and shall cleanse the Mikdash. And the Kohen shall take some of the blood of the sin offering and put it on the doorposts of the house, on the 4 corners of the ledge of the altar, and on the posts of the gate of the inner courtyard. And do the same on the 7th of the month for anyone who makes a mistake or is foolish, and you shall make atonement for the house. In the first month of the 14th day of the month, you have the Pesach, a festival of 7 days. Unleavened bread is eaten. And on that day the prince shall prepare for himself and for all the people of the land a bull for a sin offering. And the 7 days of the festival he prepares a burnt offering to Yah, 7 bulls and 7 rams, perfect ones, daily for 7 days, and a meal goat daily for a sin offering, and he prepares a grain offering of 1 ephah for each bull and 1 ephah for each ram, together with a hin of oil for each ephah. In the 7th month, on the 15th day of the month, at the festival, he prepares like these 7 days, as the sin offering, as the burnt offering, as the grain offering, and as the oil. Chapter 46. Thus said the Adon Yah, the gate of the inner courtyard facing east is shut the 6 days of work, but on the Shabbat it is opened, and on the day of the new moon it is opened. Okay. And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate from the outside, and he shall stand by the post. And the Kohanim shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings. And he shall bow himself at the threshold of the gate and shall go out. But the gate is not shut until evening. Okay, and the people of the land shall also bow themselves at the entrance of the gate before Yah on the Shabbathot and on the new moons. And the burnt offering which the prince brings to Yah on the Shabbath day is 6 lambs, perfect ones, and a ram, a perfect one. And the grain offering is 1 ephah for a ram, and the grain offering for the lambs a gift of his hand, and a hin of oil for an ephah. And on the day of the new moon, a young bull, a perfect one, 6 lambs, and a ram, they should be perfect. And he prepares a grain offering of an ephah for a bull, and an ephah for a ram, and for the lambs on his hand attains, and a hin of oil for an ephah. And on the day of the new moon, a young bull, a perfect one, 6 lambs, and a ram, they should be perfect. And he prepares a grain offering of an ephah for a bull, and an ephah for a ram, and for the lambs as his hand attains, and a hin of oil for an ephah. And when the prince enters, he comes in by way of the porch of that gate, and he goes out the same way. And when the people of the land enter before Yah at the appointed times, whoever shall enter by way of the north gate to bow himself goes out by the way of the south gate, and whoever enters by way of the south gate goes out by way of the north gate. He shall not return by way of the gate through which he came, but goes out through the opposite one. Okay. And the prince is to be in their midst, entering when they enter and going out when they go out. And in the festivals and in the appointed times, the grain offering is an ephah for a bull, and an ephah for a ram, and for lambs the gift of his hand, and a hin of oil for an ephah. And when the prince makes a spontaneous burnt offering or spontaneous peace offerings to Yah, the gate facing east shall be opened for him, and he shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings as he did on the Shabbat day. And he shall go out, and after he goes out, the gate shall be shut. And make a daily burnt offering to Yah of a lamb, a year old, a perfect one, preparing it morning by morning, and prepare a grain offering with it morning by morning, and a sixth of an ephah, and a third of a hin of oil to moisten the fine flour, a grain offering to Yah, continual everlasting laws. And prepare the lamb and the grain offering and the oil morning by morning, a continual burnt offering. Thus says the Adon Yah, when the prince gives a gift of some of his inheritance to any of his sons, it belongs to his sons. It is their possession by inheritance. And when he gives a gift of some of his inheritance to one of his servants, then it shall be his to the year of release. Then it shall return to the prince. Only the inheritance of his sons is theirs. And the prince does not take any of the people's inheritance by evicting them from their possession. He is to give his sons their inheritance from his own possession, so that none of my people are separated from his possession. Wow. And he brought me through the entrance, which was at the side of the gate, into the Kadesh room of the Kohanim facing north. And look, there was a place at the extreme rear toward the west. And he said to me, this is the place where the Kohanim cook the guilt offering and the sin offering, where they bake the grain offering, so as not to bring them out into the outer courtyard to Kadesh the people. And he brought me out into the outer courtyard and made me pass along to the four corners of the courtyard and look in every corner of the courtyard with another courtyard. In the four corners of the courtyard were courtyards covered over 40 amma long and 30 wide, these four corners having one measure, and a row of building stones all around them, all around the four of them, and places for fire were made under the rows all around. And he said to me, these are the kitchens where the attendants of the house cook the slaughterings of the people. Chapter 47. And he turned me back to the door of the house, and look, water was flowing from under the threshold of the house toward the east, for the house faced east. And the water was flowing from under the right side of the house, from the south of the altar. And he led me out by way of the north gate, and took me round on the outside to the outer gate facing east. And look, water trickling out on the right side. As the man went out to the east with the line in his hand, he measured 1,000 amma, and he made me pass over into water to the ankles. And he measured 1,000 and made me pass over into water to the knees. And he measured 1,000 and made me pass over water to the loins. And he measured 1,000, a stream that I was unable to pass over, for the water had risen, water to swim, a stream that is not passed over. And he said to me, Son of man, have you seen this? And he led me and brought me back to the bank of the stream. When I returned, then look, along the bank of the stream were very many trees on one side and on the other. And he said to me, these waters are flowing toward the eastern country, and go down to the Arabah, and enter the sea, being made to flow into the sea, and the waters shall be healed. And it shall be that every swarming creature, wherever the stream goes, shall live. And there shall be very many fish, for these waters shall go there, and they are healed. And wherever the stream flows, all shall live. And it shall be that fishermen stand along it from En Gedi to En Eglaim, being places for spreading their nets. Their fish is to be of the same kind as the fish of the great sea, very many. Its swamps and marshes shall not be healed, they shall be given over to salt. And by the bank of the stream on both sides grow all the kinds of trees used for food, whose leaves do not wither and fruit do not fail. They bear fruit every month, because their water flows from the Mikdash, and their fruit shall be for food, and their leaves for healing. Thus said the Adonai, this is the border by which you inherit the land according to the 12 tribes of Yasharel, 2 portions for Joseph, and you shall inherit it, each one the same as his brother. For I lifted my hand in an oath to give it to your fathers, and this land shall fall to you as your inheritance. And this is the border of the land on the north, from the great sea, the way of Hethlon. On one goes the Sedah, Hamath, Berathon, Sabraim, which is between the border of Damascus and the border of Hamath, Hatzor HaTikon, which is the border of Haran. And the border shall be from the sea of Hatzor and Enyan, and the border of Damascus, and on the north toward the north is the border of Hamath. This is the north side, and the east side is from between Haran and Damascus and Gilad and the land of Yasharal, the Yarden, from the border to the eastern side of the sea, you are to measure. This is the east side, and the south side near the Negeb is from Tamar to the waters of Meribah by Kadesh, along the Wadi to the Great Sea. This is the south side toward the Negeb, and the west side is the Great Sea from the border to the point opposite Hamath. This is the west side, and you shall divide this land among yourselves according to the tribes of Yasharel. And it shall be that you divide it by lot as an inheritance for yourselves and for the strangers who sojourn in your midst, and who bear children among you, and they shall be to you as a native born among the children of Yasharel. With you they have an inheritance in the midst of the tribes of Yasharel. And it shall be that in whatever tribe the stranger sojourns, there you give him his inheritance, declares the Adonai. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me in the reading of the Father's Word. We read through chapter 47. Join me momentarily. I'm going to attempt to read from chapter 48 for a little while longer. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. No. Oh, I'm right there at chapter. Ezekiel only has this one more chapter. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Oh, we're going to go ahead and read the rest of this. Okay, chapter 48. Wow. Okay, and these are the names of the tribes. From the north, head along the way to Hethlon, at the entrance of Hamath to Hatzor Enyan, the border of Damascus northward by the side of Hamath from its east to its west side. Dan 1. Okay, and by the border of Dan, and from the east side to the west, Asher 1. And by the border of Asher from the east side to the west, Naphtali 1. And the border of Naphtali from the east side to the west, Manasseh 1. And by the border of Manasseh from the east side to the west, Ephraim 1. And by the border of Ephraim from the east side to the west, Reuben 1. And by the border of Reuben from the east side to the west, Yehudah 1. And by the border of Yehudah from the east side to the west is the contribution which you offer up, 25,000 in width and in length, the same as one of the portions from the east side to the west, with the mikdash in its midst. The contribution that you offer up to Yah is 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width. And of these is the Kadesh contribution of the Kohanim on the north, 25,000, and on the west, 10,000 in width, and on the east, 10,000 in width, and on the south, 25,000 in length. And the mikdash of Yah shall be in its midst. For the Kohanim of the sons of Zadok who are Kadesh, who guarded my charge, who did not go astray when the children of Yasharel went astray, as the Levites went astray. So this contribution shall be to them from the contribution of the land, a most Kadesh place by the border of the Levites. And alongside the border of the Kohanim, the Levites have 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width. Its entire length is 25,000. And its width is 10,000, and they do not sell any of it, nor exchange it, nor transfer this best part of the land, for it is Kadesh to Yah. And the 5,000 in width that is left facing the 25,000 is for common use by the city, for dwellings and open land. And the city shall be in its midst. And these are its measures: the north side 4,500, and the south side 4,500, and the east side 4,500, and the west side 4,500. And the open land of the city shall be to the north 250, and to the south 250, and to the east 250, and to the west 250. And the rest of the length alongside the contribution of the Kadesh portion is 10,000 to the east and 10,000 to the west, and it shall be alongside the contribution of the Kadesh portion. And its increase shall be food for the workers of the city, and the workers of the city from all the tribes of Yasharel shall till it. The entire contribution is 25,000 by 25,000 four square. You are to offer up the Kadesh contribution with the portion, with the possession of the city, and the rest is for the prince on one side and on the other of the Kadesh contribution and of the possession of the city, facing the 25,000 amma of the Kadesh contribution as far as the eastern border, and westward facing the 25,000 as far as the western border, alongside the portions of the prince. And the Kadesh contribution and the mikdash of the house shall be in its midst. So the possession of the Levites and the possession of the city are in the midst of what belongs to the prince. Between the border of Yehuda and the border of Benjamin, it belongs to the prince. Okay. As for the rest of the tribes from the east side to the west side, Benjamin 1, and by the border of Benjamin from the east side to the west side, Shimon 1, and by the border of Shimon from the east side to the west side, Yishakar 1, and by the border of Yissachar from the east side to the west side, Zebulun 1, and by the border of Zebulun from the east side to the west side, Gad 1, and the border of Gad on the south side toward the Negeb. The border shall be from Tamar to the waters of Meribah by Kadesh along the Wadi to the Great Sea. This is the land which you divide by lot as an inheritance among the tribes of Yasharel, and these are their portions, declares the Adonai. And these are the exits of the city, the gates of the city, according to the names of the tribes of Yasharel. On the north side, measuring 4,500, the three gates northward, one gate for Reuben, one gate for Yehuda, one gate for Levi. On the east side, 4,500, three gates. One gate for Joseph, one gate for Benjamin, one gate for Dan. On the south side, measuring 4,500, three gates. One gate for Shimon, one gate for Issachar, and one gate for Zebulun. On the west side, 4,500 with their three gates. One gate for Gad, one gate for Asher, and one gate for Naphtali. All around 18,000 amma. And the name of the city from that day is Yashama. Wow. Wow. Okay, now thank you for joining me for the reading and the completion of Ezekiel. Okay, I will be back shortly for the beginning of Daniel. Okay, blessings.